once again, hello and welcome. It's the Renters Alliance Renter Town Hall. We'll get started shortly. Glad you're with us. All right, we can chat with everyone and attendees. So everyone should be able to chat with everyone now. There we go. Yep. So welcome one more time. Uh, this is the Renters Alliance Renter Town Hall for Wednesday, August 13th. We're going to get started in just one more minute. We're going to let a few more people join. And we're glad you're with us this evening. So just hang in there. Okay. Yep. Welcome to those of you trickling in here. Hello. Welcome to the Renters Alliance Town Hall. One more minute here. And okay, it's 7:03. We have a critical mass of folks here. Thank you for joining us. My name is David Mullins. I'm the outreach director with the Renters Alliance. We are very glad you're here with us for our Renter Town Hall, which we have normally a couple times a month to bring you information about things that the information that renters can find useful about their rights, about resources and things. And tonight I've got three staff members with me that I want to introduce. We have our three outreach coordinators with us, Tim Huang, Pat Beckham, and Melik Demir. And then, yeah, our director and other staff are the Maryland Association of Counties conference now, advocating for MoCo renters. And so we'll be with you this evening. And what we're doing tonight is we have kind of I would say a special program, still very much focused on, information that renters, especially Montgomery County, can use for, landlord-tenant issues and essentially frequently asked questions. But we're trying a new format. We're going to do the quiz show, game show format for our first time. And our staff member, Tim Huang, has graciously stepped up to be our game show host this evening. So it is officially Renter Trivia Night, and we want to make sure we know that we're this again. It's our first time giving this a try, and we hope that it's a good way for us to engage and get information across. But we do want to keep things fairly light, though there will be prizes. So Tim will lay out kind of our format and things, and we'll let you know how to chime in with your answers and things. But yeah, we as usual though, any questions or anything, the chat is going to be open. So if you're not following, something that's happening, what have you, we'll be monitoring the chat. Please get us there. But otherwise, yeah, I'm gonna pass it on over to Tim, and let's get started with our renter quiz show, Renter Trivia Night. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, David. Welcome, everyone, to our first Renters Trivia Night. This is, a first trial run, so hopefully it will go smooth. I'm going to put a link in the chat to the quiz, and I'll share my screen. So we'll go and do this. We'll kind of follow the quiz together. Like David said, there will be prizes. So the top three people will get a prize of your choosing. One of which is this shirt right here. I'm not sure. Let me see. Can you all see this shirt? Wait, let me stop sharing for 1 second. Yeah, so shirts right here. Or you can have this lovely mug right here, Renters Alliance mug.
Ooh.
Delicious. So top three people. And in order to get this prize, you'll have to put your name. There's a section in the beginning where you have to put your first name. So if you put that there, we will be able to identify you. And if technology allows, we'll go at the very end and look at all the winners and then reach, if you hear a name, you can reach out to us if we don't get to that, then maybe we'll post the winners on the next newsletter or something, and then you can reach out to us. And David dropped the info for our email in the chat. And then you can reach out to us if you see your name as one of the winners. And all participants can get a complimentary button, Renters Alliance button. Does everyone have one on? Pat, there we go. A little bit. Yeah, there we go. I'm a renter and I vote. Everyone is welcome to have one of those if you want, but you have to email us if you want one. Okay. And so the way it'll work is that we'll go through this quiz together. Let me share it right now. Let's see. Can everyone see that? Can you?
There we go, Tim. I mean, yeah, I see it.
If you see it in the chat, can you let me know in the chat? Can I get any
Yeah, more importantly, if you
kind
don't,
of
yeah,
acknowledgement? Anyone in the chat? Okay, great. Yes, yes, yes. Great, great, great. Okay. So the way it's gonna work is all questions are optional. Some questions have points, and some are just, for, because we want to know, what your thoughts are. We want to hear from you. And you should be able to see the point values next to the question. For example, the first question is, what's your first name? No points there. So yeah, feel free to answer or not, whatever you decide. Other thing is we're gonna go section by section, and we're gonna talk about the answers of each section after each section. So if you all please, this is an honor system. No looking up answers, like no Googling it or Binging it or whatever search engine you have. And no going back to change response after, we'll set sort of a time. We'll ask everyone if anyone needs more time. If I don't hear from anyone, we'll go and do the answers. And we just ask that you don't go back and change after that. Does that sound good, everyone? Great, great, great.
And I'm gonna just repost the link one more time to the quiz here.
Yeah, you see, can everyone click on that link there?
Go ahead and
And
now.
if you're on your phone, if you're listening and you're not able to do that quiz, that's okay. We're gonna read the questions out loud. There's still gonna be a good discussion about the answers and you can mentally choose what you think you would pick and keep score for yourself. You won't be able to win the prize because it has to go through the form. But this is for fun, and this is our first trial run, so we'll see how that goes. All right, so everyone can see the quiz. Let's see. All right, let's get started. So, I might hum a couple tunes, some of which might be copyrighted by a certain game show, but let's not tell anyone that. All right. Okay, so what is your first name? Optional question, you don't have to answer. And how many years have you rented in Montgomery County? Everyone's good on this question. Okay, let's get to the questions. Okay, so this section is going to be about rent stabilization. Rent stabilization applies to buildings at least this old for 100 points. 1 year, 7 years, 15 years, 23 years. So take your time. All right, and the next question is, which cities don't have rent stabilization? And check all that apply. You have to check all the ones that apply in order to get the question right. So, is it Rockville, Tacoma Park, Bethesda, Silver Spring, Gaithersburg, Germantown, or Potomac? All right, make sure to check them all. Check them all. And I'll have Malek read. Oh, sorry, David.
Shout out to James McMillan before we move on with the Rent is Too Damn High party, which made serious waves in New York. Please continue.
Yes. All right, I'll have Malek read the next one.
When was rent stabilization passed in Montgomery County? 2020, 2021, 2022, or 2023?
Nice. All right. The next question is, how much can a rent be increased at a troubled property? Is it 0%, 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, or 5%? This is 400 points. So all these questions have been 400 points.
Exactly.
Yeah. Technically copyrighted. I looked this up, but hopefully no one goes after us. Anyways, this will be broadcasted on YouTube, so we'll see how that goes. All right. And last question for optional question, no points, is do you live in a rent stabilized building? Yes or no? Or you're not a renter, that's fine too. Or if you don't know, that's also fine. So I'll give everyone a couple seconds to wrap up this section here. All right. Is anyone in the chat still working on the quiz? We're going to go over the answers shortly, unless I hear
this section, just this
section, right? This section. Yeah. Remember, so lock your answers in, and no changing. And yeah, if you we're going to go over the answers and also kind of discuss what the history around these questions are, what the context is, just so that we can have an understanding of what where all this comes from. All right, so I see no requests in the chat for more time. So let's do this. So rent stabilization applies to buildings at least this old. Let's see, Pat, do you know the answer to this? Oh, you're muted, Pat.
Greater than 23 years.
That's right. There we go. 23 years. All right. And what cities don't have rent stabilization? Feel free, at this point, you're welcome to put the answers in the chat if you think you know it. But the answer is Rockville.
Rockville.
And which one, Malek?
Gaithersburg.
That's right, Charlene, you got it. That's right. Oh, okay. Question from Joyce. You're doing this incorrectly. So we're not sure when the next game will be scheduled. We're test playing. If there's a lot, there's gonna be a section for feedback, and if this is something you enjoyed, we can do this over again. But yeah, if you have any technical issues, if you want to, write the host and say what your issue is, maybe they can help you troubleshoot. So yeah. Anyway, so moving on. So Rockville and Gettysburg don't have rent stabilization. And so this is something we're working on improving, right? We're working with a tenant organization in Rockville. Sorry, what was her name, David?
Rockville Renters United.
Rockville Renters United, that's right.
Tenant associations come together there, yeah.
Yeah, and so they are trying to carry on the conversation in Rockville about rent stabilization. The council has been very resistant in the past to it. They have not even wanted to talk about it. And yeah, so this is something that is in contention. So if you want to get involved, let us know. We can connect you to Rockville Renters United. In Gaithersburg, I think there hasn't been as much movement. Is that right, David?
And yeah, in Rockville, there are 2 council members that were at least enough to get it on the agenda. In Gaithersburg, the mayor and council are all pretty much opposed. And so, yeah, while there are active tenants, it's definitely an uphill climb there. But yeah, reach out if for more info about that stuff.
That's right. And moving on. All right. When was rent stabilization passed in Montgomery County? Malek.
2023.
2023, that's right.
That was a long fight.
Yeah, it was a long fight. Yes, Sterling, you got it. Nice. So we fought for this, and it passed. We wanted a little bit shorter of a time for buildings to be rent stabilized, but it got passed nevertheless. And yeah, and now the rent is capped at either max 6% or there's like a formula that calculates 3% plus the CPI, the cost of price index. I forget what CPI exactly stands for.
Yeah, consumer,
it's
right.
consumer price index, right? Yeah, and then it would be less than 6 sometimes. Anyways, all right. So next question is, how much can rent be increased at a troubled property? Let's see. Pat, do you know the answer to this one?
0.
0, that's right. So, yeah, a troubled property is a property in which the county has done an inspection and they have failed to meet the county's standard of living. And they get on this list where they have to, they get more stringent inspections. They are not allowed to raise the rent, and they're just being watched more closely by the county. So, yeah, 0%. And there, you can look up whether your building is in a troubled property online. I believe eProperty will tell you. If you want to ask, you can reach out to us because sometimes we've seen buildings that were troubled properties having their rent raised, and that's legal. And we actually worked with a tenant, and they were able to get all their money, the rent increase money refunded. So yeah, if you think your property is on the troubled property list, yeah, feel free to reach out and check. All right, last question of this section is, do you live in a rent-stabilized building? So it's optional. Yeah. And if you don't know, we can help you look that up. All right. So going on to the next section here. How's everyone doing? Doing good? Great.
So far,
All right. So, sorry.
Yeah, so far so good.
Nice. Yeah.
Put the troubled properties link here in the chat for you.
Great. Thanks, David. So the next section is going to be about Department of Housing and Community Affairs, DHCA, as we call it. And they run a couple departments in the county that they oversee, to some extent, all the properties in the county. So they're a pretty important organization, and we're going to go over some numbers about or some questions about how to, what services provide, how to get in contact with them. All right, first question is, what number do you call to get in contact with the county's housing departments? Is it 911, 411, 311, or 211? All right, give a couple seconds there. And moving on. So these questions, we're going to have some issues that we're going to list out. And you're going to have to check out all the issues that these departments deal with. These departments are all under DHCA. And you have to get all of them to get the answer right. And the issues are going to be the same for each question. So yeah, keep that in mind. All right, so the first question, or the first department is, what issues would code enforcement handle? Check all that apply. This question is 200 points. This is our first big question of the night. And you see the picture, someone's pointing to might be some mold or some shoddy paint work there. So yeah, definitely a little bit of a hint here, but here are the options. So would code enforcement work with lease issues, mold, a broken fridge, rent increases, leaks, pests, illegal towing, emergency rent assistance, fees issues, security deposit issues, tenant association interference, or AC and heating not working? All right. So go ahead and look over all those carefully and check all the apply. All right. All right, on to the next question here. If you live in a rent-stabilized building, what issues would the Office of Rent Stabilization handle? Check all that apply. All right, and it's the same answers here. So is it lease issues, mold, broken fridge, rent increases, leaks, pests, illegal towing, emergency rent assistance, fees issues, security deposit issues, tenant association interference, or AC or heating not working? All right, couple seconds there. And this is a picture from the Rockville Renters United Coalition. This is their campaign to have rent stabilization in Rockville. So you might have seen these posters and signs if you've been around Rockville. And yeah. All right. So I believe the last department that DHCA oversees is the Office of Landlord Tenant Affairs. So if you live in a rent-stabilized building, what issues would the Office of Landlord Tenant Affairs, or OLTA, handle? And check all that apply. And hopefully this is the last time I'm gonna have to read all these questions or all these answers. Lease issues, mold, broken fridge, rent increases, leaks, past illegal towing, emergency rent assistance, fees issues, security deposit issues, tenant association interference, or your HVAC not working. All right. And David just put the link for Rockville Renters United in the chat if you want to check them out, see what they're about. All right. All right, let's move on here. Oh, I guess I have to read these one more time. But this question is optional and it's not for points. It's just if we want to hear about, we want to hear from you if you are dealing with any of these issues. So what issues have you dealt with? Lease issues, mold, broken fridge, large rent increases, leaks, past illegal towing, emergency rent assistance, fees issues, security deposit issues, tenant association prevention, or your AC or heating not working. So feel free to answer these if you want. And if you checked any of these boxes, we are more than happy to talk to you about these issues, and we can try to help troubleshoot these issues with you. All right, so we're gonna go back to the top here. Is everyone ready to go over the answers? And anyone need more time? Need more time? Put it in the chat. All right, so seeing no request for more time, we're gonna go over the answers. And remember, don't go back and change your answers after we've gone through the answers, okay? All right, so what number do you call to contact the county's housing departments? Let's have Malek answer this one.
311.
That's right. Yeah. All right, moving on. Hopefully you got that one right. All right, so what issues would code enforcement handle? And so that is going to be mold. You got a broken fridge. You have any leaks. There's pests, or your AC and heat not working. Now, with AC and heating, it's a little bit more tricky because AC and heating is only required within certain months. I believe, maybe David correct me, but AC, I believe it's from, is it June 1st to September 30th?
I got to look it up every time. Do you know, Malik? Yeah.
I think it's May. It's like the roll May. Pat may know.
Let's see. I mean, but either way, it is only a limited time that they have to keep it 80 or below. I mean, 80, get it to 80. They're not required to keep it below that, I think, though. But let's see. I'll glad to put the link in when I find it.
Yeah, and there's a good question in the chat. If you get half points, I wish I could do half points, but the way that this form works, I wasn't able to figure out how to do that. I know there's probably quiz software that could do half points, but this one is, this works for us, and it's free, so yeah, no half points. Yeah, and so it's the same with heating. There's only certain months that heating is required, so maybe this should be in the chat somewhere. Okay. All right, moving on to the next question. If you lived in a rent-stabilized building, what issues would the Office of Rent Stabilization handle? So the answer is rent increases and fees issues. So if you don't live in a rent-stabilized building, and I wonder if does anyone know which office you would contact? Maybe David can help us out here.
Landlord tenant.
That's right. So if you're not rent stabilized, technically they can increase your rent however much they want. Now, if it's egregious, like if it's 10% or over, you can reach out to, and your building isn't rent stabilized, you can reach out to the Office of Landlord Tenant Affairs and ask them to send a strongly worded letter to your landlord and say, hey, you're increasing rent a lot. The landlord could just say, well, too bad. And unfortunately, that's how it works. But it doesn't hurt
A letter at least asking for some justification, right? And
Right.
I'm glad you mentioned that because we do recommend that you do that if it really does feel high or what's called a constructive eviction. Same goes for Gaithersburg and Rockville. Please, yeah, and just know that you can reach out to them. But we want to make sure that to know that rent stabilization and Ulta, landlord tenant, they both are aware that people don't always know which. They're very good about saying, I'm going to send you over here because your building is or isn't stabilized. So feel free to reach out to either if you're unsure or again to us.
Yeah, great. Thanks, David. And just so you know, if you live in one of the cities where it's Tacoma Park, Gaithersburg, or Rockville, they might have their own municipal code enforcement and Ulta departments. So you would reach out to them if you have any questions. All right. So all right, last question here. If you lived in a rent-stabilized building, which issues would the Office of Landlord Tenant Affairs handle? So check all that apply. And the answer is lease and security deposit and tenant association interference, I believe. Yes. So yeah. You might have noticed that some of these issues aren't covered by any of the offices. For things like illegal towing, that's actually the Office of Consumer Protection. So they would handle that. And for emergency rent assistance, we'll get to that section in a little bit. The department that handles that. All right. So hopefully you did well. It's okay. I mean, if you didn't, that's totally fine because this is a learning experience more than anything, really. All right. And if you have any issues that you've dealt with, feel free to check them off and let us know. Totally optional though. All right, ready to move on to the next section? And yeah, I think for the next time we do this, maybe we'll get some music that isn't copyrighted and we can play it over, over the waiting period. But yeah, okay, great. So the next section is going to be about eviction laws. So yeah, let's jump into it. So true or false, landlords can summon you to court for unpaid rent without prior notice. And there's this picture of this document that might be a little bit of a hint. Feel free to look at this picture here. And the answer is, well, the options are true or false. Yeah. All right. Next question here. For which type of court judgments can you prevent an eviction even if you've received a sheriff's red and white notice? And the options are failure to pay rent, tenant holding over, or breach of lease. All right. And this last question here, maybe I'll have Malek read it. If you so kind to do
Yes.
so.
How many failure to pay rent judgments in a 12-month period can you receive before a landlord can deny the right of redemption? Right of redemption. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right. All right. Yeah, you're gonna give us some music, Malek?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Always say yes.
Yeah. All right. Anyone need more time? There's a question. Can you explain what the right of redemption is? Yes, we will definitely let people know what that is. But let's head to the top here. And unless anyone needs more time, let's go over these questions from the top. Any questions or any need for more time? No. All right. So, true or false? Landlords can summon you to court for unpaid rent without prior notice. So someone put false because you don't need notice. Well, what is the answer, Pat? Or Malek?
Okay, landlords summon you to court for unpaid rent without prior notice? No.
It's false. So they need to give you prior notice. They need to give you a 10-day notice of intent to file a complaint for summary judgment, which is this document right here. So if you didn't get this document, if you get a court summons and you didn't get this document, that is a problem. So definitely we definitely recommend, if you do get a court summons for failure to pay rent, we definitely recommend going to court if you can. There are legal services you can access for free if you qualify. But it's definitely worth noting, letting your attorney know, or potentially the judge, that if you didn't receive this. So yes, that is false. That was a 100-point question right there. All right, the next question, also worth 100 points. For which type of court judgment can you prevent an eviction even if you've received a sheriff's red and white notice? All right, maybe Pat, you there? No. Pat, you maybe Pat's on the phone. Maybe David? You muted, Pat.
Oh, here you go, Pat.
For which type of court judgment can you prevent an eviction even if you've received a sheriff's red and white notice?
What's the answer?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Failure to pay.
That's right. And Charlene, I see you got it too. Nice going.
But I'm sorry, just to go back, I was looking up air conditioning and when it can be on and off. And I'm looking at the handbook from Alta, and it's saying currently there is no county mandate on or off date for air conditioning.
Maybe it's the old handbook. Because
It it's the one y'all gave me.
oh yeah, they stopped printing those.
In
And
20,
Okay.
I think
yeah, well, if it's printed, it's old already. Exactly. They pretty much stopped printing them.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's also been a state update too in the meantime, but I don't think it's as strong as the county. The online handbook came up June 1 to September 30, but there's certainly exemptions
Of this year?
that that I'm not sure now. I'm going to go back and check now that you say that. But either way though, there are definitely certain exemptions where I don't think there's any requirement. Like I think, if it's maybe single family, or especially if the landlord's living there. So yeah, it's not a hard and fast on there, but
Okay.
great. So yeah, and so
and then
if
do
you
we
receive-
do we want to just drop in what the right of redemption is here at this point with the failure to pay rent thing, or
Yeah. So the right of
Or-
redemption, which means that you can redeem the unit, like your property, pretty much. So that means if you pay the amount that you received a failure to pay rent summons for, the whole amount that's on the listed on the summons, then you can cancel that eviction and stay there as long as you don't have any other eviction pending. So, assuming you have that right of redemption, you can pay off failure to pay rent. Now, if you get something like a tenant holding over, where let's say you're staying past your lease and your landlord wants you out, then there's nothing you can do if you get this notice from the sheriff that will prevent your eviction. Or if you get breach of lease, which is, let's say that, the landlord says you violate some lease term, they send you in court, and the judge rules in favor of the landlord, and you get this notice from the sheriff. Then you also, even if you're all caught up in rent, in the other two cases, you will still have to leave. And for failure to pay rent, if you don't have the right of redemption, moving on to the fourth question is, if you don't have the right of redemption, then even if you do pay off your balance for not paying rent, you still have to leave. And so the answer for the last question is, how many failure to pay rent judgments in a 12-month period can you receive before a landlord can deny the right of redemption? The answer is, it's a little bit maybe trickily worded, but I don't know if David, you want to give a shot at this question?
Three, but it's three, right? Is that the right?
I think it's three. I'm pretty sure I put the answer as three.
And
So,
go ahead.
It's 3.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the only reason it would be tricky is because then that's the fourth one is where the judge would say, you don't have the right of redemption if the landlord's lawyer asks and they can prove that you had three other judgments. So it's under the law, it's the three judgments, like Pat's saying, that triggers it. But once something Tim said is just bears repeating as a train goes by. Sorry, but it, it's a judgment amount for this failure to pay rent. If you're going to redeem the property, if it's your first, second time, or what have you, it's not optional for the landlord. They have to. I mean, this cancels the eviction. They're the ones that have to go in and let the sheriff know that you paid. But if you pay the judgment amount, like Tim said, then that eviction needs to be canceled. But we always recommend double, triple check that the landlord has done what's necessary to notify the sheriff to cancel the eviction. And if they're refusing, reach out to the sheriff yourself. We can help you with that. But yeah, the judgment amount needs to be paid. There could be a higher balance. The balance may be more. The landlord may be asking for the balance. The judgment amount is all you need to pay to redeem the property. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, thanks. So Ava, I see that Ava raised her hand. You want to type your question or comment into the chat? We can answer it. Yeah, I don't think I'm able to have people speak on this
I'll
call.
keep an eye on the Q&A in the chat in case she does. But yeah.
Yeah. Um,
David, just for clarifications, you can do that even if you have your money. You can do that even if the sheriff is at your property, right?
Absolutely. And that's
Okay.
exactly. And
Okay.
we just hope so much that it wouldn't have to come down to that. But yeah, no, the sheriff should know the law, and we've had to be there, with tenants that things were coming down to the last minute and the payment was arriving. But absolutely. Thanks, Pat.
yeah, and the way you would know whether you have the right of redemption is there should be a box on your court document that will say, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us or Maryland Legal Aid, and they can help you figure that out. All right, moving on to the next section here. All right, so this one is we talked about evictions, and now we're going to talk about how we can prevent evictions. So the first question is, which Montgomery County Housing Stabilization Service address can you apply for eviction assistance, or we like to say HSS, and check all that apply. All right, and there's a little bit of a hint in that picture, so if you have sharp eyes, you can kind of see what they're going on about. All right, next question. Maybe Pat, you want to read this one? Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Which documents can be presented for eligibility for emergency rent assistance? Check all that apply.
Oh, and can you read the options?
Okay, sure. Notice for intent to file, court summons, red and white sheriff's notice, and notice to vacate.
Great, thanks, Pat. For the next question, I'll give you a second to pick your answer there. Let's see. All right. So for the next question, maybe we'll have Malek read it.
All right. Which of the following emergency assistance programs can you also apply through the Department of Human Services, DHHS? Check all that apply. Office of Home Energy Program, Emergency Assistance to Families with Children, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program.
Great, thank you. So yeah, that question is worth 100 points. And the next question also 100 points. What number can low-income renters call for free legal eviction prevention resources? Is it 911, 411, 311, and 211? All right, should be pretty quick. And Next question, maybe David can read for the next question.
Yeah. Which counties in Maryland have just cause, also known as good cause, eviction protections? Montgomery County, Howard County, Prince George's County, Baltimore County, none of the above.
And this question, I think, is the biggest question maybe of the night. 500 points for this question. So think really hard about this one. All right, cool. Give you a little bit of time because it's, a big question. And way before revealing the answers in the chat, we'll get, if you know the answers, that's great. And I want to hear it when we've come to review the answers. But yeah, keep it to yourself for now because you don't want, your neighbors taking away points from you, right? I mean, not really, but yeah, just save the answers for now in the chat. All right. So the last question of this section is, which of the following rental assistance programs is intended for middle-income tenants renting apartment units? Is it HOC's HCV PBV program, the MPDU program, the Rental Assistance Program, known as RAP, the Short-Term Housing and Resolution Program, known as SHARP, or the Montgomery County Home Sharing Program?
And let's go ahead and expand all those. So HOC, the Housing Opportunities Commission, their housing choice voucher.
Oh, we will expand, but towards when we go over the answers.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying so people know what they're selecting here, and then that's moderately priced dwelling unit. Yeah, there we go for MPDU. I don't know if you said that, so because they're not out.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. If you don't know what those acronyms mean, we'll definitely get to them. Maybe some of you will qualify. All right. Moving back up. Does anyone need more time? Need more time? Put it in the chat. Say time, or say hold on, or wait, or what other ways can you say need more time? Anyways, all right. Well, I don't see anyone in the chat saying need more time, so let's go ahead and go over the answers. All right. So, which Montgomery County Housing Stabilization Services addresses can you apply for eviction assistance? Check all up.
Oh,
All of them. So there's 1301 Picard Drive in Rockville, 88818 Georgia Ave in downtown Silver Spring, and 12900 Middlebrook Road in Germantown. So you can go to any of them, whichever one's closer to you. And you have to go in person most of the time, unless you have some kind of exemption of some sort. All right. So hopefully you got that one right. All right. Maybe let's see. Can you read the next one, Malek, and give the answer?
I think I missed this one. Okay, what documents can be presented for eligibility of emergency rent assistance? Okay, I know courts. Okay, I'm going to give my guess. Court summons, red and white, and notice to vacate. Oh,
Not notice to vacate, right, David?
Yeah, I don't think so because I think that, but notice to vacate is what they would need a landlord need to do before then they took it to court. So I think that summons that would for either breach of lease or tenant holding over would probably activate it. But you know what? We should. This is something good to check back with DHHS on. But I'm pretty sure that's the case. It still has to be
gracious. The most important thing to know, though, is the notice for intent to file. That is the first step that the landlord takes moving toward an eviction. So answer it. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, and so that the notice to vacate or the notice of intent to file, which I'll show everyone again, this one right here does not qualify you for emergency rent assistance.
Yeah, neither would the notice to vacate because a lot of them, because everyone should remember, a lot of times you can cure a notice to vacate. So some will be, if it's a notice to vacate the end of a lease term, you may, if you're needing resources in general, you may still want to reach out. But a lot of notices to vacate will say, we are telling you need to vacate because you did XYZ that you're not supposed to do. could be something small that you can cure, and then you would not be facing eviction for the purposes of that. So, but again, if you feel like you're in that gray area, we're always glad to take a look at these and let you know kind of, it's called, finding your posture of your case, right? It can be a little confusing, but that 10-day notice is something that, yeah, won't qualify you for the rental assistance, but under state law, the landlord has to give that to you before they can even get to the court.
And I
Yeah.
think, I just want to add, if I may, that, the court summons, I believe, well, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, Renters Alliance was part of changing that. Before, you could not apply for emergency rent assistance even if you had a court summons. And I think that Renters Alliance was very instrumental with other departments of Montgomery County in making sure that once you got a court summons, you could then start to apply. And am I right? Am I wrong, David? Okay, whatever.
No, yeah, the Housing Initiative Partnership,
Yeah.
who's down at the court with LED Latino Economic Development Center. They're down at the courts, and we're saying that people can't wait till they have a judgment. That's how it used to be, right?
Okay.
Now, if you even just have the summons, bring it in.
Great, thanks for that. And just to note, the notice for intent to file is not, even though the landlords need it to file a court summons, it's not actually a court document. So that doesn't actually go on your record. But if you do get summoned to court, it would show up on public records. Now, if it gets dismissed, then you can have it, like I guess have it go away on your record, but something to note. All right, so which of the following emergency assistance programs can you apply through DHHS? And the answer is, let's see, maybe Pat, do you know? Oh, you're muted. Oh.
Emergency assistance to families.
Yeah, any other ones?
That's the only one emergency assistance. No, that's it that I know.
Yeah, you can apply for emergency assistance, but you can actually apply for all of them at DHHS. So DHHS or HSS will, they're the ones that give out the emergency rent assistance. But you can apply through all these programs by going through the DHHS office. And by the way that it structures, HSS is under DHHS. DHS is like the umbrella department, and HSS is one of the departments under it. And yeah, so if you need help with your utilities, your electricity bill, if you have, if you're facing eviction or have problems with utilities and you have kids under 21, there's a state fund that you can access once every 2 years. All these are income restricted, but it doesn't hurt to check and apply. You can also apply through that. You can apply online directly, or you can go through DHHS. And there's also the SNAP program where if you need food assistance, then you can go through there. That is also at one of these 3 offices that you can go to apply. So yeah, keep that in mind if you ever need help with that. All right. So, and the next question for 100 points is, what number can low-income renters call for free legal eviction prevention resources? Malek is showing 21. It's not an answer, Malek. All right.
211.
211, that's right. So 211 will connect you to the access to counsel and evictions. Is that right, David?
Yeah, the ACE program, exactly.
ACE program, yeah. And so there's, I think, 2 main legal organizations in Maryland, or I guess in Montgomery County. There's Maryland Legal Aid and CASA. So they'll connect you to one of those. So if you're facing eviction, feel free to reach out to them. There is also an income qualification, but they will check it for you. You can always, it doesn't hurt to call them. Now, if you're facing something else, like let's say your landlord is discriminating against you, or there's like you want to, sue your landlord for this and that or whatever. They usually wouldn't be the ones that handles that. It's just for preventing evictions. Anything else to add on that one, David?
No, yeah, we can go in more later for this questions, but yeah, exactly. You're still welcome to reach out to them, but the state funded program where that's for if you're facing eviction. But certainly there's still ways to find legal representation for things like escrow and other stuff, so we can offline connect over that.
Yeah. Now, okay, a big ticket question is, and if you know the answer to this, feel free to put it in the chat. But which counties in Maryland have just cause or good cause eviction protections? And just cause or good cause pretty much means that if let's say that if you are month to month, like let's say your lease is over, your month to month, the ability for a landlord to evict you for no reason whatsoever. And so the question is, which counties in Maryland do you have that protection where if you are not on a lease and you're just paying month to month, you can stay in your home, provided that you don't break the lease, you're a good tenant, you keep paying rent. Yeah, is there anywhere in the county that has that protection? And the answer is, I saw someone say Prince George's County, I saw someone say Baltimore County. David, what's the answer to that?
None of the above.
That's right. Charlene got it right. And Bird. Yeah, that's right. None of the above. Dave,
can I just say this just cause is a big deal. So I think we just missed it in Annapolis by one vote the last session. So coming up, when it goes back to be voted on, please find out which representatives are about renters and renters' rights, because the landlords won that battle the last session. Hopefully we can win this one. It's time for us to make some good trouble.
There you go. Right. Good trouble for good cause. That should be rally cry. No, absolutely. Yeah, but it was huge that, long before I joined the Renters Alliance, Renters United Maryland and Renters Alliance were pushing for this in Annapolis. Our former board member, Janelle Wilkins, was the House sponsor, Delegate Wilkins, and it was historic that it passed the House of Delegates the year before by a wide margin, but still, again, last year ran into the block in the Senate. But this is, Pat's right to pause here, because this is certainly, our top priority, that as far as what we think in Renters Alliance, most what we hear about, my lease is up, landlord didn't say why, just didn't renew. We just hear it so much, and it just causes such instability that it's certainly a top priority.
And it's usually a lot of it is retaliation against tenants.
It masks retaliation. It masks discrimination until the landlord has to state a good reason. And if you live in a low-income housing tax credit or LIHTC building, you have this protection already. It works. It's out there. Someone said DC has it, and certainly other jurisdictions do. And so, yeah, we fully support it. And I'm glad. And then I saw Malek. I think she put Baltimore in the chat just to prompt me that this is a local enabling law we're trying to get passed. Because this touches eviction, apparently that local jurisdictions can't do this without a state law first that allows it. Baltimore did it briefly. It sunset. It never got tested in court. So that I like that Baltimore got out there, but no one has it now. None of the above. But let's fight for it. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, thank you. And I see some people in the chat saying that they have to go early. It's fine. If you do have to leave, feel free to skip ahead. If you know the answers to any questions, you have the time, you can go ahead of us and just submit it, just so that we can if you want, just so that we can get your responses. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. The last question in this section is, which of the following rental assistance programs is intended for middle income tenants renting apartment units? And the options were, HOC, which is Housing Opportunities Commission, the Housing Choice Voucher or Project-Based Voucher Program, which is pretty much our Section 8, the MPD program, which is the moderately priced dwelling unit. And I didn't want to say the acronym because it's moderately priced. So it's a little bit of a giveaway, but yeah. And then the WRAP program, the SHARP program, or the Montgomery County are also HIP home sharing program. HIP runs that program, the Housing Initiative Partnership. And Malek, do you know the answer to this? Or Charlene knows.
So it's moderately priced dwelling units, and I will say, as someone who has lived in one of them, so the requirement is 60% of the median income in Montgomery County. You apply. I was on a waiting list for only 2 years, as opposed to what an HOC waiting list is. And just to give you an idea what the differences in prices, the market price for my apartment was $1,800, and I had it for $1,300. The really important thing to remember when you sign up for an MPDU is that buildings only have that license. They're only qualified for that for 23 years. So in my case, I moved in when they were 21 years into their agreement. So I had to move out after 23 years. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're looking to rent.
Yeah, thanks, Malek. And so just to go over the other programs real quick. So the HOC program, if it's mainly for people who are, I guess, maybe seniors or really low income or just disabled. Feel free to apply. I mean, anyone can apply and get on the wait list. Sometimes the wait list can be years and years, maybe like 5, maybe 10. So that one, but that one subsidizes your rent. It could subsidize your rent a lot. Like it could subsidize almost all of it, or if not, sometimes in some cases all of it. So yeah, that program is it shouldn't expire if you pre-certify, depending on federal stuff, because it's Section 8. The WRAP program, the rental assistance program, is mainly for seniors and people with disabilities, and that's like a low subsidy of max $500 per month, and you can apply. If you get a court summons, let us know if you think you qualify. The SHARP program and the WRAP program may or may not have funding at all times, so keep that in mind. The SHARP program is mainly for people who are exiting homelessness, I believe. And the Montgomery County HIP home sharing program, the Housing Initiative home sharing program, is for people who want to rent a room in a house for a pretty usually lower than market rate. So if you think you qualify or are interested in any of those programs, feel free to apply. If you want to learn more how to apply, we can let you know. So yeah, all right, and organizing the next section. All right, so maybe Malek, can we have you read this question here? 400 points.
Good thing, because I love this part. What should be the goals of forming a tenants association? Check all that apply. Building community, starting a blind dating group, collectively negotiating with management, and campaigning for all political parties.
That's right. All right, take a couple seconds to answer that. And what percentage of Montgomery County residents are renters? Is it 0 to 10%, 11 to 20%, 21 to 30%, or 31 to 100%? All right, and the last question is, how can renters improve their rights? And this is for no questions. We just want to hear your thoughts on how renters can, build power and how renters can organize to make their lives better. So feel free to write as much or as little as you want. You don't have to answer that at all. If you want to keep writing it, you can go forward and backwards in this quiz and keep working on your answer. Luce wants a link to the quiz again. Maybe it's Malek or David or Pat can.
I know, yeah.
Okay. All right. So pretty short section. So let's go over the answers unless anyone needs more time. If you need more time, please say so in the chat. All right, seeing no requests for ever hold your peace, we're gonna go over the answers. All right, and remember, going back and changing your answers. All right, so Malek, what is the goal of forming a tenants association?
Definitely building community.
Uh-huh.
Collectively negotiate with management, and that would be it. Of those options.
Actually, the main reason is to start a blind dating group. So totally wrong. No, you're not right. Okay, building community and collectively negotiating with management. Now, you can start a tenants association and do whatever you want with it, but it's the matter of should you. If your goals are a little bit too distracted from the goal of your neighbors, which is to improve your building conditions, then people might not show up for that. So if you want to start a tenants association in your building and don't have one yet, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to get out there and help, jumpstart your association. We for the first meeting, we can bring pizza. We'll help you flyer. We'll print flyers for to help you jumpstart. Hopefully, at some point, you'll be able to carry on your own. But yeah, if you don't have one in your building, please reach out. All right. So, for the next question, what percentage of Montgomery County residents are renters? Let's see. Pat, do you know the answer to this? Oh, you muted, Pat. Charlene's got it right. Oh, Pat's blowing her nose. So, maybe David can answer.
Yeah, no, let's just repeat Charlene's answer in the chat. 31 to 100%. Is it somewhere in there, Tim?
That's right. It's I think Matt says it's 40, right?
I think the county overall and the municipalities that are within it too are all in the state and everything. We're looking between 40 and 50% is the kind of going number, and then getting closer and closer to half in a lot of places.
Yeah, I saw a study that was like I think 2019 that said 35%, but maybe it's 40 now. So either way, I gave it a big range to account for that. Anyway, so how can renters improve their rights? If you want to, copy your answer in the chat, feel free to put it in. I'd love to see what you all think of how we can, build power among renters. All right. So, and a little bit about ourselves. Let's see how well you know us. All right. When was the Renters Alliance founded? 2005, 2010, 2015, or 2020? All right. And we won't be offended if you don't know. It's totally fine. All right. And it's a long question. Maybe Malek, would you want to read this one?
Absolutely. What can the Renters Alliance help with? Talking with management, providing financial assistance, forming tenants associations, providing referrals to renter resources, finding the cure for cancer, suing a property, hosting town hall meetings with important information for renters, and sometimes meta trivia nights. Ooh. Encouraging the adoption of renter-friendly policies.
Yeah, great. So, yeah. Anyone need more time? All right. All right. So, maybe Pat, do you know when the Renters Alliance was founded? Oh, you're muted, Pat. Shirley's got right.
2010.
Oh no, you sound so horrible. Oh, yeah, I won't call you anymore. Sorry, Pat. 2010, Shirley got it. That's right. All right. Yeah. So what can the Renters Alliance? Oh, I forgot to say check all that apply for Renters Alliance helping with. If you haven't checked all that apply in this question here, go ahead and check all that apply. It's 400 points. But we're gonna go over the answers real quick, and the answer is talking to management, provide financial or not providing financial assistance. We don't provide any financial assistance. We are a small nonprofit. This is pretty much half our staff right here. So we don't provide financial assistance. If you need financial assistance, there was a HSS and DHSS. They can help with that in the previous section we talked about. We can definitely help with forming tenants associations, and we can refer you to the places that will give you resources. We don't find the cure for cancer, not directly at least, and we don't sue. We don't have any legal support. I guess we don't have any attorneys on staff, shall I say. I mean, we read a lot of the code, we read the handbook, we deal with these issues. We can, we can, a lot of times we know when something's illegal, if it's, pretty simple, like when are they supposed to provide AC. But, we can't give, like, we're not lawyers. We can't really give like civic legal advice, per se. So can't sue a property. We can definitely host town hall meetings and have sometimes trivia nights that are self-referential, so that is a thing. And we also encourage the adoption of renter-friendly policies. So we can't, as a 501c3, we can't endorse political candidates, but we can encourage, adoption of like things like rent stabilization. So, yeah. All right. And so I believe the next section is the last one that it's a fun one. These are worth 50 points, so they're not as much, but it's just for fun. And this is to see how well, or I guess how long you lived in the county and how well you know the county. So there's gonna be a bunch of pictures, and you're gonna have to say which area the picture is taken from. All right. So, and I'll tell you all exactly which apartment building it is at the end of the section here. All right. So which area is this apartment building located? So Rockville, Tacoma Park, Bethesda, Silver Spring, Gaithersburg, Germantown, and Potomac. And for people who maybe are on their phones, can't see the picture, it's a picture of two huge white buildings. There's a courtyard, and behind it, there's a parking lot. I know the picture's a little bit grainy. The other picture's gonna be better. But yeah, there's a little pool in the corner too. So yeah, take a look at that picture, make your best guess. We'll go on.
There's a third building out of the picture.
Yes, yeah, that's what's not pictured. There's a third building. Don't no one look at the chat for now. We'll wait to put in the answers. All right. We're gonna give everyone a chance to answer. All right, next building. Which area is this building located? Is it Rockville, Tacoma Park, Bethesda, Silver Spring, Gaithersburg, Germantown, and Potomac? And the building is it's like a courtyard style building. It's like a square building. There's a courtyard in the middle. It looks a little bit newer. It's pretty, forested in the back behind it in the distance you can see. So maybe not somewhere super urban, shall I say. But yeah, it's a fairly large building. So go ahead and take a look at that. And all right, next building. Where is this building located? It's Rockville, Tacoma Park, North Bethesda, Silver Spring, Gaithersburg, Germantown, or Potomac. And this one we have a, how do I say, maroon, brown? I don't know how to, what color, maybe a bonus question, Malek. What color is this building, Malek? What would you say it is?
It is brownstone.
Brown.
Brown. Okay, all right, we're gonna go with brown. It looks like it's like in some sort of shopping area. It's pretty big. I couldn't tell you what type of architecture it is. Is it Brewless? Is it Renaissance? I don't know. I'm not an architect. That's why I'm working here. But yeah, go ahead and take your best guess at that. All right, the last picture is, where is this building located? And this one has a little bit of a clue, if you know your history. So the options are Rockville, Tacoma Park, North Bethesda, Silver Spring, Gaithersburg, Germantown, or the Potomac. And it is a fairly large building. This one's definitely brown. I will fight anyone who disagrees. And there are a lot of emergency vehicles, a lot of fire trucks. There's like 3 ladders going up. There's police. It's all closed. It's in a pretty busy intersection, like sort of an urban area. All right. So everyone got that in? All right. Anyone need more time? If you need more time, speak now, forever hold your peace. All right. So the first question is, Ava got it right. It's Silver Spring. It is the Enclave. Recently there was a slew of Afghan immigrants that got located there, and Christian Mink had this whole campaign where she had to relocate them. Anyways, story for another time. All right. I know that was kind of hard, but hopefully you got that one right. And the next one is, let's see, Pat Malek, do you know where this one is?
Is that Germantown?
It's Gaithersburg. Close. Yeah, this is Gettysburg Station Apartments, right, David? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure it
right
is.
at the
Yeah,
Gaithersburg Mark Station.
that's right. So I know it might be a little bit hard to tell from above, but yeah, that's the Gettysburg Station. All
Gaithersburg
right.
Elementary School's in the background there, Gaithersburg up there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, you can kind of see that. All right. So which area is this building located? Charlene, North Bethesda. That's right. So does anyone know which building this is? You put a note in the chat or which area. So this is at Pike and Rose, and that's right, Charlene. Yeah, you know your stuff. So this is the Henri. Um, yeah. All right. And last but not least, where is this building located? I don't know if did someone say Silver Spring? Arrive. Wow. Okay. Who, how do you know all these? Okay. This is Arrive Silver Spring, and this is specifically the Arrive Silver Spring fire that happened, was it 3 years ago? I don't know, a number of years ago. So I believe there was one casualty, and yeah, very tragic.
2023, maybe Melanie Diaz's life was lost, and yeah, but yeah, either 2023 or early 2024, yeah, but arrived Silver Spring.
Yeah. And so, yeah, very important to keep up with fire safety. Yeah, very tragic, but hopefully you were able to guess where it was. And then this is the last section. It's not really, it's all optional. There's no points. This is just a survey before we wrap up the quiz or trivia night. All optional. How old are you? And if you're a renter, which apartment do you live in? And there's this cute cat that says thank you. And you can put in what other topics would you like to see for our other town hall meetings. Or if you can write if you like this. If you want to see this again, feel free to put it in. And this cat will thank you. And I'll just be the cat and just
I
thank you as
thought
well.
that was a bunny.
It could be, if it's a pretty grainy picture, if you squint your eyes enough, it can be. But yeah. So yeah. And don't forget to submit it if you want to be in the drawing, or it would help us to see it. We would love to see your answers. Won't let you submit for some reason. Uh-oh. Is anyone else having trouble submitting? Let me see. I'm seeing submissions. Okay. Um, let's see. I see some submissions. Yeah, if you can't submit it, I'm sorry, I don't know what is wrong. I know, Charlene, you would have gotten all of them correct. You can try again another time, if you can remember your answers and see how that goes. Okay, you can submit. Great. Al, thank you for joining us. And I know we already covered a lot of resources. I don't know if David, if I'll look at the responses and
Yeah,
maybe
no,
I'll.
go ahead, take a minute to look through what you need to. And if you can keep sharing or stop sharing, because I don't think we'll go much longer. I mean, Tim, thanks for taking us through that. And hopefully, what we would normally do toward the end of our meetings, is just make sure that we go through some of the frequently asked questions, the things we want to make sure that we get out there, which we are usually Department of Housing Community Affairs, DHCA, their code enforcement office, their landlord tenant office, the rent stabilization office, who does what. But tonight we kind of went through that. I think in our information, same thing with the access to counsel and evictions program that the state has. Maybe the only thing we didn't mention there is that there are lawyers down at housing court for same day representation. They can't really come up to people. They'll make an announcement. Again, it's CASA and Maryland Legal Aid are the two that are there. They usually make an announcement that says, we're out back. Come talk to us. So if you're not able to reach out to them before, they're there for that. But no, I think we went through what we normally would. So I just want to say thanks to Tim for taking us through it. And then, yeah, of course, we have participation prizes for everyone in the form of buttons if you want to catch us at info at Renters Alliance. And then, yeah, Tim, do we have results that can we go through now, or do we need to reach out to people like offline afterward as far as like results go, either ways.
Yeah. So, it might depend on people. If people submit late, then we'll have to include them too. But so far, in tied for third place, we have, of course, Charlene for 2,200 points, and um, actually someone whose name I don't think they submitted their name. So Charlene's in third,
Anonymous,
and
anonymous in second place. Okay.
yeah, and Janet is in second with 2,300 points, 2,300 points. And we have the grand winner of Paul with 2,400 points. So yeah, if you heard your name, please reach out to me or the info@rentersalliance.com. Say if you want a shirt, say your short size. We don't have medium. We're out of medium. If you want a mug, just say you want a mug. It's one or the other, just one. And if you're the anonymous person that got tied for third and you want a prize, feel free to reach out to me too. On our system here. For everyone else, if you want a button, feel free to reach out to us at that email David just put in the chat, info@rentersalliance.com, or sorry, not .com, .org. And we'll send you a button, and we'll have more chances to win prizes. And we'll do more giveaway with things. So if you don't get a shirt or mug, don't fret. But yeah, thanks for playing, everyone. It's been real fun. Let me know if there's any suggestions of how we can improve. Feel free to also email us. But yeah,
Oh, right.
David,
Yeah, no, like Tim said, it also, if you thought this was a good way to engage and everything, please let us know, because we'd be glad to do them in the future, especially if there's like more specific, topic or things that we could get into. But no, I hope that it was enjoyable for folks, and I know I enjoyed. I mean, like Tim, staff, thank you so much for taking us through that and get through all that information. I want to. So I'm just going to wrap things up then with letting people know that our next town hall is going to be on Zoom again. It's going to be Wednesday. Looks like August 27th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Wednesday, August 27th. Same time on Zoom. We're going to have Elise Thompson, who is the director of the Office of Tenant and Landlord Affairs for the state of Maryland. So we've been talking about Ulta, landlord tenant, county, and then of course Rockville and Gaithersburg, as Tacoma Park have their own. We talked about that today. The state, under a bill sponsored by Governor Wes Moore that passed the state legislature this past session, this Office of Tenant and Landlord Affairs at the state level was created. You may have seen an article or two about a tenant bill of rights that statewide is now needs to be included on leases. That was the first work product of Ms. Thompson's office here, and so we're going to get to visit with her about her role and what she envisions for this brand new state office that the Renters Alliance and Renters United Maryland were certainly involved in bringing to Secretary Jake Day's desk and the governor. So we're really glad to see it in place. Once again, thank you. And that's Wednesday, August 27th, our next one. Thank you again for joining us this evening. Tim, I think you got more information across in a period of time than ever through that quiz. So I really appreciate staff's effort on this, and thanks for everyone's participation. And we will hopefully see you next time. Everyone stay safe and have a good evening. Good night.